We hear what's going on. Seneca already in the building. The Seneca. Shout out, shout out, shout out, shout out. All right. So we back at it again. And the link in the description, I should have put it in the title. Ramil um Ramit, that's his name. And shout out conscious, what's going on with you? All right, so we back at it again. Money decisions, smart money decisions at that too. So basically, it is a link in the description talking about money rules. And see, this is the thing that I normally talk about when people, boss lady, what's going on? I caught your video this morning, but rules that you have to, implement and put into your life. You know, there's a lot of people, what's going on? Tamika, what's going on? And it's like the rules that we have to implement. A lot of people are not doing that because you just don't know. And like I say, by listening to my channel and picking up on other things, it might give you some, golden rules to live by, preferably, getting things together. Far as like how you spend money. Because, I always talk about discipline. Shout out to Gold Professor and the nine laws of self-government. Rule number one, discipline. A lot of people got to have that discipline in their spending, first of all. Then you got to have the discipline to seek the knowledge so you can learn how to spend your money. And see, that's the biggest thing where a lot of people, kind of drop the ball in a sense because you don't know how to save money. Nobody's never really taught you. So, you're just doing things as you go. J3, what's going on? The honey slinger. So, but the more you get to a point of understanding like how much money I have, how to do a budget, spending my money in the best, situation, not just for me, but for my family, you know, finding a, better alternate route that I'm doing now. Majority, there's some people that actually do pretty good with their finance. You know, I know a young lady, she has pretty much about 400,000 saved in her 401k. She has about a couple of policies. She has about a little bit over a half a million in investments. Pretty much everything she has is to the degree paid off, except for I think a car, but I think a car is paid off now. House paid off, car paid off. A lot of investments. She has taken the path of least resistance for years, you know, learning about finance at a young age. So she was able to implement these things better than most because her parents were into finance. Her parents knew money. Her parents taught her. So then in return, you know, a lot of things that she owned, she bought her first townhouse cash money. Didn't go in and get a loan, went in for the loan, but seen how, over time, people, if you do the breakdown, buying a home, if you're not trying to pay this house off early, you're paying sometimes two and three times as much as the house is worth. So typically, doing the numbers, it's in your best interest to pay the house off early. Make as few at most principal payments, even if you can put in an extra $200 every other month or something like that, and you pay your house off faster, you avoid paying so much in interest. And overall, owning your home pretty much it's just a sense of relief. You get to a point where you don't have to worry about that mortgage. You could take that money and invest it. You could take that money and just have a rainy day fund, buy a new car, whatever. Because mortgage are most of the time our biggest thing that we have to pay off. Sometimes it's bigger than our credit card bills. I don't think it's anything bigger than mortgage for most people. And that's on the monthly scale and overall. paying off, that purchase. So, but to a degree, it can be done with a lot of discipline, you know, taking the time and having an understanding. I've been looking at several videos where they're saying, if you want to pay your house off in 5 years, you know, at minimum start paying more payments towards the principals. I think it's 15, I think it's 10 year, 15 years something, to where you pay every quarter a payment every quarter. You too much can't control the rates when it comes to the insurance and the taxes for the most part. In Georgia, I don't know about other places. They have what's called a homestead exempt form, to where you fill that out, and it pretty much deals with your taxes, to where they're just not jacking the taxes up every year. You know, and then going into it as well, just finding tricks of the trade, because there are programs out there that can help you. There are different insurance companies. People like staying with the same insurance company. Shop around, get better rates. You know, DJ Ron, the mechanic, what's going on with you, brother? Checking out them cars. Oh yeah, DJ Ron. They going just lost the name of the bar. It's in Stockbridge. Man, I wish I had my other phone. I could pull it up real quick. Uh it's actually in Ellenwood. They having a just a little get together. I'm gonna go over there because it's right by my house over in Ellenwood. It's right by this Ingles too. I think it's called Suda Bar down in Ellenwood. They're having an old school car show down there. I think it's like, I want to say, I think it said 1940 to 1980s cars only, and pickup trucks. So, one of my friends, I think I told you about Lat TV. He runs a lot of the car shows around on the area, Decatur and the west side of Atlanta. So shout out, what's going on, Alonzo? But I'm gonna try to keep you posted. I might even post a flyer in my community tab so you can check it out, DJ Ron, and I'll tag you on it. But back to your regularly scheduled program. So basically, when it comes down to it, having an understanding about your money and having a lot of decisions that you learn over time how to spend your money, and then they'll better suit you. There's a lot of people who has over the years have just learned things as they go. Like I said, me being, I think I was 15 to 17 or whatever, around in that frame. I know it was sometime in school, so it's pretty much around 15 to 17. I know it was my senior year. My grandmother had went into the hospital. Nikki, what's going on with you? And the crazy thing about her was, when she went into the hospital, I just grabbed the bills, went in, set up an online account because I bought my own laptop, set my online account up, had that what was that AOL. I had the AOL disk set in my computer, had my little and I end up paying the bills that way. I used my grandmother's credit card and end up paying the bills. And when she came out of the hospital, she was in about almost a month and a half. I forgot the reason, but you know, seeing her coming out, she was like, "Oh, I gotta pay these bills. I forgot about this. Got to tell your uncle. They were running so much tests on me. They were trying to figure this and that out." I said, "Grandma, I paid it." I said, "As long as you had money in there, they got paid." And they accepted the payment. She was like, "Well, how you do that? And who taught you that?" I said, "Well, I know they needed to be paid, and I seen the bills kept coming in the mail. So when I opened the second bill, I seen it was, I know you always talk about things being overdue, so I paid them. That was my first time experience in paying bills. Nobody taught me this. It was just something that I took the initiative and wanted to do on my own. you know. Then over the years, I started learning about bills and everything else and structure. That's just like now, my twins, they're in school. They're learning about the difference between checking account and the difference between using the checking card and a credit card. And I was like, this is excellent. I would assume that they stopped, teaching a lot of these kids about, different things with finance because, over the years, it kind of dumbed down when I was in school to where one school district taught me more about balancing checkbooks, writing out checks, um, doing cover letters and everything. Then when I went to another school district, the basic thing that they were teaching us were to get jobs. They wasn't teaching us anything in finance. You know, they were teaching you how to keep bookkeeping and everything. And so it do depends on the school system and the development. You know, short sidebar. I was talking to someone this weekend, and that was the whole conversation about me moving because my kids are getting ready to go to high school and I prefer them to go to a better high school. And it looks like if I have to go back to where I was prior to, then I just have to move in that area. And the taxes are so high in that area. But generally speaking, a lot of those kids, continue their education, whether it be in college, technical, military, but the education is always continued in that area due to the pushing of you know going to the next level as far as educational wise. Like I say, whether it be college, technical, or even to the military, to some most still higher your education. But like I said, learning those things and taking the next level puts you in a position to be better with your finance because getting financial aid, learning about if I borrow this money, I got to pay it back. So let me go ahead and finish school, get the necessary job, and do what I need to do to pay this money back. Having the discipline to pay it back. You know, shout out everybody coming in. Herbie Kai, what's going on with you? A lot of times we have like decisions that we have to make. And, for those that are coming in, I put a link in the description about Ramit. And the name of his channel is I Want to Teach You to Be Rich. I believe that's what it is. And going into his channel, he talks about rules and money for a guideline for you to live by for you to make more money. And this one of the videos I shared is his rules of making money, you know. And just like he said in the video, that pretty much when it comes down to it, you don't have to follow his rules, but you would need to make some rules in order for you to, have some type of level ground and, meet expectations or above expectations. You got to have rules with your money. And that's the key thing with a lot of people. I just get the money on Friday, I spend the money on Saturday, and then by Sunday, I'm struggling throughout the week all over again. You know, get to a point of learning how to save some money. You know, it's one of the rules I adapted, over time was pay myself first, whether it be 25, $50, put that money aside for something I want to do, and then look at paying the bills. You know, I could choose to go in at 50 if I really do need it, but I should be to the point where that 50 doesn't break me every week. You know, that goes at me saving money, putting money aside, as well. That has nothing to do with that money that I put aside for me. That 50 I paid myself, that has nothing to do with my investments. That has nothing to do with my savings account. That has nothing to do with, you know, paying my life insurance. Those are all separate. So getting to a point where you can pay yourself first, Shawnee, pew pew. What's going on with you? Getting to a point where you pay yourself first is key, you know, and that's one of my rules. Like I said, everybody has their own rules, but that's one of my rules that I pretty much adapted to paying myself first to where I can enjoy my money. I work hard for this money. I don't want to work hard just to pay bills. I want to be able to enjoy my money as well. So that's why I get to a point to where, push come to shove, I put whatever aside for me, and then I start paying the bills and so forth. You know, because having kids, people that have kids, when it comes down to it, these kids are always gonna want things. These kids are all you got to have a budget for them if you have it. You know, and that's the thing. Putting money to the side and having a budget, you know, you got to decide on, hey, these bills get paid, these bills get paid. Prime example, I have a family member. He pays his bills from the first through the fifth. And if the bill hasn't came out yet, he does sort of a guesstimation to where the bill was last month was this, a year ago it was this. So I'm just gonna put this money aside and go ahead and pay it, and I'll be in the green. And for the most part, that's what people are doing to, kind of make sure they have money aside. Some people are just putting it in a bank account, and then when a bill comes, they go ahead and pay it. Others are just going ahead and paying it. So it all depends on, like I said, your rules, your way in which you make the decision on how to spend your money. You know, then there are some people that put money aside for savings. Now, my savings is up and down. Sometimes I put money aside for savings, sometimes I don't. I need to start back getting in the habit of every week putting that money aside for savings. Start back in my investments. Um, One of my older crypto accounts is doing quite well now, considering I took a nosedive. And shout out to my son. 2 years ago, told me to take this money out, but I was like, nah, son, it's this different. Investments should be like this. You just set it and forget it. And lo and behold, I lost about $1,000. And it's basically in crypto, but I'm actually gaining the money back now. I think I'm still in the red by $300-400, but it's slowly coming back up. So with that being done, I'm able to move the money around, you know, and that was just a little money I bought with me and my son sitting down teaching him about crypto. I gave him the password to my account to where he can go in there and check it as well. I downloaded it to his phone. I told him don't spend or do anything without my permission, you know. And he's a responsible child, so he 13 now. At 11, he was looking at it. He was so eager to sell and just take the money and buy Robux and stuff like that. But overall, he pretty much has an understanding about it. And the more I get him into that, is uncle's trying to get him into buying stock. And the thing is, teaching these kids now. You know, my wife was trying to express to me she don't think that my son would be interested because it's kind of hard. And I said, well, this the thing. For a child that likes money, teaching them now would just only make them more curious in the future and tend to make them more, you know, have better decisions on money and overall have a better decision on doing more research into getting to that money. So when it comes down to it, teaching them about this is a great thing, and this is the basis of, money decisions. And a lot of times, like I said, teaching these kids young gets them a learning curve to where other kids are just catching up speed. Prime example, I gave an example of this young lady who, has so many investments, over $500,000 in investments, you know, close to 300,000-400,000 in her 401k, and she pushes that money aggressively. Her company matches, so she's aggressively putting this money in there. And when I say aggressively, going above average. Despite me looking at Ramit on his channel, I want to make you rich. He talks about not trying to go over that threshold in which the company matches. If the company matches uh 50% or 100% of whatever you invest in up to a certain dollar amount, only go to that dollar amount. That's the thing. I was going over at times. You know, one of my companies they matched 3%. Another company they did 50%. My wife company did 100%. I told her, well, if they doing 100%, take more money out your account, and then you can just balance it out by taking more money from me. And she was like, well, I'm like, you're not looking at the big picture. If your company matches 100% up to a certain dollar amount, you're getting more money. You're getting more bang for your buck. So I'd rather you go ahead and max as much as possible, and I'll take the fall for that, and just take the majority of money that you're missing that you need to do. Just take it out of my account. Take it out of my savings if I don't have it in my checking, because you know, understanding later on down the line or just throughout the years, you putting more of that money in there, spite the inflation and spite the downturn of the stock, S&P, wherever you put your money in, you're gonna have that. But on the upside, you know, the money's gonna be there, because the way I looked at it when I was investing in my 401k, when it come down to it, you're only taking the company's investment that are investing. You're not taking pretty much my money. It's going to take a lot in the downturn of the market for them to take majority of all that money out your account. And say the least, 401k was started anyway just to get people to invest in the market, because I think it was a guy by the name of Ted something back in the 70s or 80s or so were saying that a lot of people wasn't investing in the market. So he came up with this idea to, have retirement plans for companies, give them tax breaks for actually getting their employees to invest in the stock market. So this is another way of investing in the market without investing in the market. So everyone who has a 401k, you might as well be investing in the market because you're already doing it through your job. You know, Tips. List shout out to Lisa J. Stocks. Lisa J. Stocks. She gives a lot of great information on investing in stocks. One of the biggest things that I gathered and I've already known about was ETFs. ETFs, the S&P 500, great to invest in. ETFs are pretty much the best, because they're at a steady incline, gradually over years. People do the study on 5 and 10 years on the ETFs. Always a great turnaround. Always a great turnaround. You know, you're not gaining the money fast. It's a slow process, and for a lot of people, that always to a degree be their biggest thing is trying to get that money real quick and real fast. Buy you sugar, what's going on? And that's the thing. When you're trying to get that money real quick and real fast, there's other things that come with that, and it's called risk. A lot of people risk try to put so much money in investing to get a big turnout and ultimately lose a lot of money. You know, the slow game is the long game. A lot of times people take their money and invest it in these big companies, take their money and invest it in all these other things. And, over time, you tend to lose, not doing the research. I always talk about this from day one. Information, knowledge is key. A lot of people, if you take the time, see what you invested in, just look at the charts. There's a lot of research going into the market with a lot of these companies. You know, they have the charts, they have the years of operation, the physical year. They talk about if they do dividends, how much dividends they give back. Most people take their dividends and invest it right back into the company. So, needless to say, you coming in knowing what you're buying and making the money off of that versus you just say, I don't know what to buy. Uh, this stock is cheap with Enron. Let me just invest in Enron. Enron, one of the companies that Tank dealing with, I think No, that wasn't a Bernie Madoff, but Enron was one of the companies that tanked where it was, laundering and embezzling money with people and stuff. So that would be a horrible decision to make because it's so cheap because nobody's invested in it anymore. And a lot of people that stayed in it is because, they want to see some of their money back before they jump out of it. You know, a lot of people primarily say invest in what you like. If you wear Nikes all the time, invest in Nike. You know, if you like Tesla, invest in Tesla. But overall, I say too, well, do your research. There's a lot of people not doing their research on a lot of these companies, and that's why they're overall, having issue with, trying to stay afloat or getting things together or putting things in order because, hey, there was no research done. A lot of times we tend to, want to invest in these nice companies and have a great turnaround, and we're just not doing the research. We're just, just saying, hey, I'm just gonna grab something. Even if you investing in something that, you know, you like, you buy it enough to say, well, if anybody is investing in this company is me, because I buy a lot of this. But also, like I say, do the research. You might find out that you in investing in Nikes, notice that you're not going to get a big turnaround. You know, Nike doesn't go up as much. It's quite balanced because there's several other shoe companies that people take advantage of as well. And Nike just doesn't sell shoes; they sell all around clothes. Just the apparel, the look of athletes majority. They're invested. So hey, if you have a Jordan brand, if you have LeBron, his clothes through Nike. So it's just over time, Nike stands the test of time, but the growth on them, as far as the market, it's up and down. Now, something that's real big in the market that you'd invest in, looking into it, like Tesla, that was pretty good. Look how Tesla went up, and they had to reverse split the stock because it almost peaked out for the most part. And hey, people looking at getting a big return. It is what it is. Like I said, just get ready to end this. Pretty much with your money making decisions, do your research. I'm always talking about the knowledge, day in, day out, day one, doing the knowledge. And oh yeah, I gotta talk to Black Tropical because I got some giveaways. I was gonna do it on my channel, but I think I might just save these and give it away at the Soul Family Expo. I don't know, I might do both because a lot of my listeners probably don't go to the Soul Family Expo. So still have them for always coming to my channel. I did one giveaway before, and shout out to Anne Marie, the number one grinder, underrated darkness, and wellness with frugal mama. Those three, well, those three were my prize winners. They got cash prizes. I sent them cash apps, and then I mailed them some gifts. I gave away lapel mic and also um a motion sensor that moves with your phone as far as the stand. When exercising, cooking, or doing whatever, you just place it down and it's supposed to move. I seen one of those and I was like, I want one. So I was like, why not buy it? And I was like, hey, this would be a good thing to give away to somebody that actually, deals with working out or cooking or something. And the lapel mic, I have mine and mine works pretty good. Of course, I didn't get the most expensive one like I got, but at the same time, though, it was a decent one. And for the most part, a lot of times that the stuff that I have, it's just things I've, saved over the time and, bought, invested in. And like I said, I can be able to give this stuff away. And that's the whole thing about budgeting and, being disciplined and have a certain amount of target market that you want to reach and obtaining that goal. So that's why I'm going to be giving majority of this stuff away. And shout out to everybody who, visit and watches my channel, give some of this stuff away too. I might even do see if I can do like Amazon drops and just send it to your house through Amazon. And I don't know, get creative, because shipping it to my house and shipping it to your house when I could just ship it straight to you through Amazon or send you the cash or whatever, and you just go buy it yourself. All depends. I might just do all cash giveaways. But needless to say, once again, shout out to everybody that came through. You know what I always say when I get off of here, but like I say, check the description. Check out that video. Great information in the description of this video. Once again, you know what I always say. We here and we gone. Peace.